Hey guys, it's Robin the Lady Biker, and I've got Allie with me tonight.
Woohoo!
And we thought we'd do something a little bit different. As you can tell, we're back home. We had such an epic adventure over this.
Fantastic trip.
It was a great trip. And so today we thought that we would just kind of sit down and share a few of our thoughts to close out that epic summer road trip. Hang on. Okay guys, so if you were following along, we had, I think, 12 episodes. Sadly, oh my gosh, I had a hard drive crash and we lost the last 2 days, but all right.
We still had a great trip.
There was still another road trip. It just
Right.
gives us an excuse. So, but we thought that we would kind of come to y'all today and just share a few thoughts. And I got him on camera. Mark the calendar. Love you, babe.
Love you too.
So, my first thought was, starting with your favorite memory from the trip. What was the, one, maybe two things that just were like the standout moment of the trip? So, question is, do you want me to go first so you can think?
Oh, you can go first.
Okay. So for me, it was, we had so many memorable moments, from hiking in Glacier to the Beartooth Highway to, Crater Lake was, we caught it at a pristine moment. But I have to say my favorite moment, my absolute stand-up favorite moment, was when we rolled up to Rocky Mtn Roll. We had stopped at Grizzly Harley-Davidson, had the bike service, both of them, because they needed fuels and whatnot. And I stepped off the bike, pulled my helmet off. I don't even remember if I'd taken off my jacket yet or not. And Amanda Zito from As the Magpie Flies, she came up and just bear hugged me. And that was just such a standout moment, because I've been looking forward to meeting Amanda. And everybody at that event was just it was such a neat gathering of people. But that hug from her was, I didn't realize how bad halfway through that trip I needed that hug. So that, to me, and it just reinforced how we saw so many amazing places, but it was the people that we met along the route that really made the difference. And that was what were spectacular moments for me, were all the people we met. But that one was kind of the highlight, was getting that hug from Amanda.
I do have to agree that Rocky Mtn Roll, getting in there, finally arriving and meeting everyone, that was fantastic. So absolutely a highlight.
Oh, that was definitely a highlight.
Absolutely
Yeah.
a highlight. And as you just said, for me, a lot of those highlights go back to the interactions we had with people. Sometimes people we knew virtually, like Amanda.
Yeah.
Or people we had never met before who had done something just shocking and surprising for us. So absolutely, Rocky Mtn Roll. Another one was, you remember riding out of Hell's Canyon, and it was screaming hot.
Oh my God, that was
And we
so
were
hot.
running out of fuel. We were boiling hot, melting. We were out of water, and we pull up to this little farm store in
Where was it?
Pomeroy,
Washington. Yeah.
And we were just trying to cool off, and the lady there, she gave us ice cream cones.
She did.
She
Soft
saw
serve.
how hot we were, and
Yeah.
we were just melting. And it just, a kind gesture like that, just
Do you remember
will not
her
forget.
going? Do you remember her going, looking in the refrigerator, or the cooler in the back, and found us like 2 of the last 3 or 4 bottles of water they had in the store.
Right.
I think they were hoarding them, but she still brought them out to us so that we could refill our hydration packs. So yeah, I remember that was I wish we had And I remember she had one of those Southern, like, names. And I can't remember what it was. And I'm wishing I'd have written it down.
It might be on a video clip somewhere.
Maybe. I'll put that up in the corner. So, but yeah, it was just so much. It was the people. It was the time and time again, some of the most spectacular country we have ever seen. But it was the people that were just so amazing. Okay, so we've talked about our favorite memory. What was something about the whole trip that surprised you?
What surprised me was how much I liked Montana.
You fell in love with Montana.
Almost immediately. We were on our ride, and yes, Western Washington was great, and then we got that really hot spot. But when we got into Montana and meeting people and just the terrain and how big and vast Montana was. Yeah. Proud living in Texas for a long time, but Montana is a pretty neat place.
I would consider Montana. It's a great state. Oh, okay. Surprising for me was, oh gosh, I had a thought and I completely have lost it now. But what surprised me again and again was how well we got along. We spent 16 days.
24 hours a day.
24 hours a day, most of it camping, on the road, on bikes, in the heat, in the cold. And really, it wasn't until the very, very end of the trip that we really kind of wanted to strangle each other. But that to me was surprising, is in an environment that normally people would be arguing, we both would, I need half an hour. And we kind of spooled our way back down. I was really kind of impressed with us a little bit that we got to the end of the trip and we still liked each other.
Right.
I know, right?
And probably not a surprise for anyone who watches your videos, but our personalities are a little bit different.
Just a little.
We are very different, very compatible.
But very different.
Very complementary personalities, but very different.
Yes.
And one thing that I guess wasn't a surprise, but was reaffirmed on this trip for me was our personalities. When I ride, it's very internal. I do all my external stuff at work, and when I get on the bike and I go riding and on this trip, it was a very internal experience. Yeah. You are a communicator on the bike. You want to engage. And so it's funny, I'll be lost enjoying something, and then all of a sudden you start asking questions like, what?
No. It was
I'm having a good time over here.
It was more like, huh? What? And every once in a while I saw you like going, I think you were about to turn off the comm system. Okay, so coming to the next one. Is there something along this trip that you learned, whether it be about camping, something practical camping, riding, or was it, even if it was just something kind of a life aha moment? Was there something on this trip that you saw, you were like, I want to take that forward either on another trip or just forward in life?
Okay, I want to rewind and give my last answer. And it was how our personalities, we always knew they complemented each other, but it was really for me understanding how when you ride you look to engage.
Yeah.
And for me, when I ride, it's a very internal. It's a relax.
Yeah.
In a peaceful thing.
It's a way for us both to just find a moment to breathe, but we find it in such different ways. But that's what makes our marriage work. Is we are perfect opposites.
We're complements.
Yes, we are. Well, I learned kind of two things. One of them was practical, one of them was relational. One of them was, I'm really glad that as we got later into the trip, we made shorter and shorter days mileage-wise, because I was tired. And when I'm tired, often my mouth will engage before my brain does.
I can't imagine that.
And so having a little bit more rest time really did give me the opportunity to, before I would react, I would take a step back and take a breath. Okay, what am I trying to communicate? So that for me was kind of, whether it's a trip or in life, is just to take a breath sometimes. One of the other things was our navigation. Navigation is fallible. And, so many times it would pop us off onto a dirt road, a Forest Service road. And it was like, I'm not feeling dirt with these fully loaded Harleys. Not working for me. So it was a learning thing, a learning curve of how to plan a little bit more strategically, so we're not having to adapt as much on the road. I mean, life is going to go sideways enough. We don't need technology messing with us. Is there anything along this whole route that just didn't work? I mean, and for me, it was kind of a little bit about that, was the whole thing with the technology and the navigation. One of the other things was, I'm wishing we would have packed just a sheet in our camping gear if we had made the room for that, because we had some cold nights, but there was that one night in Idaho where they were having record heat. And oh my gosh, it was so hot. And I'm wishing we had had just a sheet so that we didn't even have to pull the sleeping bags out.
Now, from my perspective, I think everything worked very well. I think
it did.
We were very fortunate. We had no mechanical issues. Weather, we had some heat, we had a little bit of dampness, a little bit of cold nights. But we were very fortunate in how everything unfolded for us.
Oh, we were.
So, and on trips, you just have to go with it.
You do. You really do.
And so, I think everything really turned out well for us.
Yeah. So, to close this out, any final thoughts, overarching thoughts about the trip?
I'm ready to do another one.
Oh, yeah. I've got like 2 already roughly planned. Mm-hmm. We just got to find time on the calendar.
I think it was... it was a lot easier than expected.
Oh, that's good.
We can carry so much on our motorcycles, probably more than we would ever need. So there's never a concern about space. We've got enough gear to be comfortable.
Yeah.
It's for us, really, it's going to be scaling back and going lighter and lighter.
True.
The other was, I've lived in New England, I've lived mid-Atlantic and Texas. I've traveled around the world. But I never really appreciated the Western states. And this was the first time I really spent time in the U.S. Western states and some of our national parks and state parks.
And they are so beautiful.
They're phenomenal. It's like, you have to get out and experience them.
If I remember, we visited 2 of the 3 oldest. I have to go back and double check. But Glacier and Yellowstone are some of the oldest national parks in our country, and we visited both. And they were spectacular. Oh my gosh. My overarching thoughts... Yeah, let's do it again. Let's do another one. But how much I love traveling with you. I love meeting people. I love seeing all these amazing places. But when I made that solo trip back to Texas, I can't tell you how many times I would see something and go, I wish Allie was with me. So having that experience with you. And the only reason we work like we do is because we both walk through a lot of very difficult things to get to where we are now. And there's a bunny.
Yeah, there's some bunnies back behind us.
Oh, we got bunnies too. Okay, sorry, we've got like wild bunnies here in the backyard. But that to me, that was, at the end of the day, it was, I got to experience it with you.
Thank you.
And so I will follow you anywhere, my love.
Be careful what you say.
This is
You
true.
don't know where that's going to land
That's
you.
true. That's true. So anyway, guys, if you haven't seen some of the trip, I've got a link probably right here at the very top to the whole playlist of our epic summer road trip. From the Avenue of the Giants, through the Redwoods, Crater Lake, the Columbia River Gorge, across Highway 12, through Idaho, the Lolo Pass, Glacier National Park, Rocky Mtn Roll, which, by the way, I will have a link. Tickets are on sale for 2022. If you haven't gone, you need to. Beartooth Highway, Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, Highway 89 down through Utah. Well, you won't get to see Zion until we make another trip back now. But it was truly a once in a lifetime epic experience.
An epic experience.
And so, guys, that was our big adventure for the past summer. We've got a couple of new adventures ahead, and possibly some news coming in the next month or so stay tuned to that. But other than that, guys, get out and ride, have fun, be safe, and we'll catch you on a future video, guys. Bye.